Hey everyone, today I'm going to go over the 5 most popular programming languages according to professional developers, go into depth on the use cases, pros and cons for each of these languages, and I'm also going to go into detail over how long the average programmer is coded for and the average age of a programmer. Let's get right into it. To start off, what are the 5 most popular programming languages? Well, let's take a look at Stack Overflow's survey. According to Stack Overflow, JavaScript is the most used language. Does that mean you should learn it? Well, JavaScript is a language that is largely used in the web. It's one of the 3 most important parts of the web, along with HTML and CSS, which we'll discuss later. Learning JavaScript is essential if you would like to go into web development. However, many people learn the 4th option on this list first, so we will discuss that when we get there. Some of the pros for JavaScript are that it is a popular language and it is pretty fast. Some cons, however, include that you can't access databases and you can't access other domains. Now, onto the second most used language, and this is actually a combination between 2. This is HTML and CSS. HTML and CSS are must-learns when you're getting started coding. They teach you all the principles of how programming works. Now for the pros and cons. Some pros for HTML is that it's supported by all browsers, which means that no matter what browser you use, you should be all set. CSS is lightweight and does not take up much data most of the time. There is not really any problems with either of these 2, which is why it's used so widely. Now on to the third most used language, which is SQL. SQL, or Structured Query Language, is used to manage data in different database-related systems. If you want to get started into back-end development, SQL is a great start. Some pros for SQL are that it is fast. It's also the best way to work with databases. However, a con to SQL is that it has a weird interface that turns a lot of developers away. Don't let this scare you though, because it is really great to work in and very easy. The 4th most used language is Python. Python is the first language used by many professionals, developers, and non-professional developers. You're able to do a ton with Python, such as data science, machine learning, algorithms, and much, much more. I highly recommend checking out my video series on Python after you're done with this video. Some pros in Python are that it is open source and it's easy to learn. It's also easy to read and write. A con, however, is that it is slowed compared to other languages, such as C. The 5th and final most used language is TypeScript. TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript and adds static typing to a language. I personally enjoy TypeScript more than JavaScript, but at the end of the day, it's all preference. Some pros to TypeScript include that it has optional static typing. It is also very readable. A con, however, is that TypeScript requires some compilation. I'm now going to go over how long the average programmer has been programming for and how old most programmers are. According to Stack Overflow's developer survey, over 50% of developers wrote their first line of code between 11 and 17 years old. That being said, over 15% of applicants wrote their first line between 18 and 24 years old. Even if you are older than this, don't be discouraged, because many people have coded for between 5 and 9 years, so you can always get started. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.